Hey everybody, Melissa with the Prize Foundation. Before we get started, I just want to give a shout out to our sponsors, The Cottage, Coca-Cola, Eagle Distributing, Allen Energy, Remington Hotel and Suites, the Poliak Group at Morgan Stanley, and Elizabeth and Alex Kennedy. Thank you so much. We couldn't be here doing what we are doing without their support, without your support too. And one last thing, we are in the middle of Give for Good right now. So if you have the opportunity, please visit our page with Give for Good and consider making a donation to the Prize Foundation. It allows us to continue to bring you the Prize Cast. It also allows us to continue to really build, energize, incentivize all the creative entrepreneurship that's happening right here in our area and continue to encourage folks and bring folks here. And we would really, really appreciate it. Hey everybody, this is Melissa with the Prize Foundation. Welcome again to PrizeCast. Today I have with me Chef Megan Chavez. She is the chef and owner of Tempo Eatery, as well as Prepped Up Meals, and no lie, a 2019 Golden Fork Chef finalist. Megan, welcome!
Hi! What's up, guys? So happy to be here.
I am so happy to have you.
A person other than a 5-year-old.
I have been talking into a camera without anybody, so just the fact that someone else is there, it makes me feel really good.
It's nice. It's so nice. So nice. I miss cooking for everybody. That's a sure thing.
I believe that. Well, tell us a little bit. I mean, obviously, Tempo's closed at the moment, yes?
Yes.
Got it. So how are you doing with the whole pandemic thing?
Well, what's funny is I had mentioned right before all of this had happened that, I was working a lot and I could kind of feel my body getting tired and just needing to spend some time with my family. And then, of course, God has a funny sense of humor, and now he gave me an entire month of a break. Which within like the first 2 days, I was like, all right, I'm ready to go back to work. Like, can we clear this up? In all honesty, like through the storm, it has been a really big eye opener. And I know that sounds super cliche, but, there's a lot of things that I wanted to try that I didn't have time to do prior. Now I have all the time in the world. So that's been really nice.
Tell me a little bit, how did you get involved in the restaurant industry? How did you get involved cooking?
Well, I was raised by my grandmother to just kind of go into that. Prior to that, I was really having to kind of take care of myself at 5 years old. And it's kind of a testimony in a sense, but she saw that. And one morning she woke up right whenever she got me, and I was climbing on the counter getting food for myself because I was hungry. And instead of her kind of pushing me out of the kitchen, she embraced it. Later on, I did a couple of cooking competitions in like 4-H.
I love it.
I was a 4-H nerd.
Yeah.
I didn't lose interest, but high school happened, and so I played sports and kind of got out of cooking for a while, and then I moved out on my own. But that's what I knew, is I knew cheap food and I can turn it into something else that actually tastes good. And, I had some roommates and some friends that didn't know how to cook. And so I would cook for them. So I would have to make a meal that I could afford, that we could split, 10, 15 ways that people would want to eat. So it kind of began to be like this thing. So Tuesdays, everybody would come over to my house and eat. And I would make like chicken and dumplings or pasta or, anything relatively cheap, but tastes good. And so before I know it, I was feeding, 20, 30 people. Also, on top of everything else, my grandmother was very holistic. So we would only eat relatively healthy. And so I kind of had to go back to basics whenever I first started cooking for myself because I was trying to get healthier, because I wasn't liking the way, one, my body looked, but also the way that it felt. Because I started noticing, okay, I'm eating all these different things that I have never eaten in my life. And so, I did a transition of, cooking healthier, and then also kind of being a little bit more conscious about what I'm eating, and it made me feel good. So then, meal prep started, and then I was cooking in a box for so long because I could only cook healthy. But who knows that cooking with fat is fun. So, I had all these other recipes that I really wanted other people to eat. And so we opened Tempo.
And Tempo's been open how long now?
About a year and a half.
Year and a half. Got it. I love it.
We won't count these next 2 months or something like that. So.
Right. What we are going to do today that I thought would be a little fun is a little grilled cheese party. Because everyone loves the grilled cheese, right? I mean, it's like quintessential. For you, what makes the quintessential grilled cheese, Megan?
I think a nice crust. The bread is definitely a big component. Creamy, rich, salty, fatty. And then one thing that I like to throw in there, which is my little secret ingredient, is acid. So to combat the fat, I always put a tomato inside of my grilled cheese.
Listen, I'm here to tell you, I think we're going to be going I think we have simpatico. So you show me yours, I'll show you mine. Okay? I want to see what you got going on over there. Just give us a little preview, hold it up, tell us what it is and why.
Okay, so we're going to start off with homemade bread.
That's gorgeous.
It's just a simple white bread. It just holds up. And I like a pretty decent size crust because you're going to be getting these bad boys sopping wet here in a second. And it's got to be able to hold up against your fat and whatever else you've got going on. And then we have butter, obviously.
Yes.
But then where it really takes a turn is we have mayo. And this is not going on the inside of my sandwich.
You're a mayo on the outside? Oh, did I spoil it? Okay, keep going.
Are we making the same sandwich?
I know, sorry. Spoiler alert. Okay, keep going.
All right. So butter goes on the inside. So I'm going to toast both of those sides. I'm going to get both sides pretty crispy because my butter side has to be able to hold up against mascarpone.
Dang, woman.
So this is the creamy element that will go in my sandwich. And then we have 2 slices of sharp cheddar.
Yes.
And then we have a little bit of regular non-smoked Gouda. And then for the salty, I don't know if you're familiar with Mimolay, but it's my favorite cheese in the entire world. Okay, so a little bit, just a tiny bit. It goes a long way. It's very salty. And then on top of the tomato slices is a little bit of Louisiana. Slap your mama.
I know that you are this woman that if it's going to happen, you're going to make it. So I too made some bread. Now, let me confession. So this is Jim Leahy's no knead bread. If you guys have ever made it, Sullivan Street Bakery in New York, it's amazing. He does an incredible job. I may or may not have done the best job measuring. It's like an overnight rise and I kind of threw it together. It is not my best loaf, but it's either this or sandwich bread from the store. And I had to have it for you, Megan.
I appreciate that so much that you made bread.
I was worried I was going to get showed up. Like you, I'm kind of into that acid in there. So I have a couple more inclusions because I don't have that much cheese. I invite you to a grilled cheese party without much cheese. So to beef up my grilled cheese, I've got butter. I'm going to do butter on the outside, but I like what you're about. I also have for my inside, this is my cheat ingredient. This is sweet and tangy mustard seeds.
Ooh.
It is this lovely agrodolce. I kind of want all the flavors. So it's mustardy, but it also has some sweetness to it and it has a little bit of that acidity. For a little bit more sweetness, I've got some caramelized onion.
Ooh, now I love caramelized onions in a grilled cheese. I forgot that one. I forgot it.
I've decided to add fat this way.
What is that?
It's a salami Toscano.
Ooh.
Again, it gets a little bit of the fennel in there, a little bit of heat, but the fennel will give a little sweetness too. And then lastly, I have cheese too. I have pepperoncini for a little bite, a little heat, a little bit of tang, a little of that acid. I have sad mozz, but it felt right. I have just grated mozzarella, block mozzarella. I have a slice of Munster that I was I'll add that. It gives it a little bit of creaminess, a little bit of different dynamic, but we're rolling here. So that's kind of what I got going on. Are we ready?
Yeah. Let me turn this bad boy on.
I haven't sliced my bread yet, so I'm going to do that really quick while you start.
Sure, yeah. My range is over there and you can't actually see it. So I have my handy dandy.
I love it.
I stole it from the restaurant.
Listen, I'm all about a countertop burner. This is going to be an intense sandwich, as you can see. I've got a little bit thicker that one. One more, a little bit slimmer, just because that's a whole lot.
Yeah, so I'm going to add a generous amount of butter to this pan, and then I'm going to just put the bread in here and kind of swish it around a little bit. My pan's not super hot right now, but I'm just gonna get it on the bread. So
you're doing both sides of your bread, huh? You're gonna like toast both sides?
Yeah, I'm gonna toast both sides. I just, I like a good crispy bread.
Yes. Now let me ask you this. Are you a slow and low grilled cheeser? Are you because I sometimes, confession, I will blast my pan because I'm impatient and I'll just eat kind of a pseudo burned grilled cheese because like.
Oh yeah. No. Trust me,
hungry.
You'll see this whenever we get done. I like a good char, a decent char on my grilled cheese.
So I have to ask, when you think about a dish and you're conceptualizing a dish, how do you typically think about when you're developing a new dish? Like, how do you approach it? Is it the same as like your grilled cheese or?
Well, there's just different components. I think, there was a really nice documentary on Netflix about this. Heaven forbid, I can't remember the chick's name, but it's salt, fat, acid, heat. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. Samin Nosrat?
Yes. And so I'm going to take this off real quick. All right, so my butter side is nice and brown.
Got it.
All right, so now my butter side is nice and brown.
I mean, we're looking pretty good. We're kind of hitting about the same. I've just assembled my sandwich. I'm about to hit my pan. Let my pan warm up just a little bit, not too hot.
All right, so now I'm adding the mascarpone on top of the butter side. Okay, so I'm going to turn my pan down just a little bit.
Okay.
Because the mayonnaise really does burn pretty fast. Okay, so I'm going to put that back on there just for a second.
Okay.
And just to kind of get these to go, I'm going to place them.
Oh, look at your sneaky little trick.
On. We make cheese sandwiches all the time at the restaurant. So we melt the cheese pretty quickly on here, take it off, and we're going to stick it on.
That is sneaky. I never thought to do that, but it makes so much sense.
Yeah. So it's like halfway melted.
Mm-hmm.
But the only problem with that is the cheese is going to be on the pan and it's going to burn. So I'm going to keep this pan kind of low.
But the Bernie cheese is so good.
Oh, I know. It's still on the side of the plate. I'm saving it for later.
Oh, okay. All right. I like what you're about. So you said that you did a practice run last night. Is that typically with like a menu, when you're developing a menu, when you're developing a dish, do you tend to kind of start with an idea and then just kind of keep doing it over and over and tweaking, or are you normally like a first time out?
The crazy part about that is every time that I make something, it's typically kind of an accident, if that makes any sense at all.
Yeah, I get it.
So, for instance, one time, the Godfather, there's this Godfather sandwich that we have at the restaurant, and one of our servers' girlfriend was pregnant and she was stuck at home. So, she was like, I'm hungry, asking him if he could bring her something. So she wanted a grilled cheese. And so I was like, okay, this is going to be the best grilled cheese she's ever had. So I go in our fridge and I get out literally all the cheese that we have.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, all right, so what do we have? Well, then I had some deli meat that I was making something with that week that we didn't finish using. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to put this in here too. Does she like this? Does she like that? I mean, that was the best freaking sandwich I think I've ever had in my entire life. And then the crazy part is, what we serve at the restaurant isn't nearly as good as it was that day. I mean, it's still really good, but it's always the first time. And then I can never redo it completely. Because I don't write anything down. We just kind of work off of taste. It's kind of a palate thing, I guess. And there's nothing like having a dish that you make and then all of a sudden you eat it and you're like, yes. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, no. I think probably like me, I mean, you might be one of your own worst critics. Like you kind of are tasting something and you're like, what would I do? Just a little bit more. Like it's just slightly off balance. So how do I bring it completely together and like balance this dish? So it sounds like for you, it's really about the flavors and how they are interacting.
It's like the perfect slice of something. It's very satisfying. Or these videos that people watch that are calming. If you make a dish and it comes together perfectly, it's satisfying. But if not, you keep retrying, keep adding, keep taking away. And then finally, it's like constantly trying to get to this high. And I think that's kind of what's kept me going. I mean, I don't know what I'd be able to do or what I would do if I wasn't able to cook right now, because I'd be losing my mind because this is the only thing that's keeping my sanity. So, I mean, it makes me happy. But,
how's your sando doing over there, Megan? Because I'm getting hungry. I blasted mine a little because I cheated it and I was like starving.
So
yours looks good though. I think you went a little thicker on the bread too. I was doing a grilled cheese dance while you did that. Sorry about that.
The grilled cheese dance?
I was just like this.
So do you cut your grilled cheese angle to angle, or do you cut your grilled cheese down the center?
Oh, I'm an angle girl because I like the point.
Okay. So I'm a center girl.
Oh, this is like it's like there's two types of people in the world kind of question, I think.
Yes. All right, you ready? I want to see yours pull apart.
Ooh. Oh, well, mine's been sitting for so long, but hey,
okay.
Look at that. Are you ready?
Yes.
Dang, that looks really good. Okay. All right. As we head out for the day, any last words for fans of you for tempo? A parting.
We are kind of working on some stuff right now, just to kind of be on the lookout for. We're probably not going to open the restaurant off real quick when everything does subside, because of the simple fact that still gathering together kind of makes me nervous with everything. We'll open up prepped up meals probably pretty soon. So if you're still wanting to stay home, even if you aren't staying home or whatever you're doing, it's always fun to have, it's always easier to have meals prepared for you in your refrigerator. And so we're not just gonna do the super healthy, no bread, no nothing meals. We are going to do fan favorites of tempo. So you'll be able to have tempo food, you'll be able to have prepped up food, those two things as well. And then just be safe. I miss you. I miss everybody. I miss smiling faces coming into the restaurant, asking what the special is. I miss that. I miss, I'll never take for granted people coming, asking for us to come out of the kitchen to say hi when I'm elbows deep in making bread. You
heard that here, everybody. But yeah, I think that's probably a sentiment with a lot of people, and I know everyone's going to be excited as we kind of get across this to the other side. In the meantime, it was awesome cooking with you today. It was so much fun. I've never actually done anything like this where it's like through a camera cook along. So thank you.
We should just do this anyways.
Yeah, all the time. Every dinner just becomes this, like a cooking.
I wouldn't be mad at it.
Phone. Well, again, Megan, thank you, Megan Chavez, for being here with us, for being here with me through this screen. It was super fun. I love hearing like how your brain works around dishes. It's always exciting to hear how people come to a dish, how people are inspired, how people are conceiving their menus, because I think there's no right answer. There's so many different ways that people come to create. And I love hearing what's in your brain. So thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me. This was fun. I'm ready to I want to bring you this. I want to eat yours.
Yes, please.